I have been informed that, before the war, while all the British islands were wholly open to our vessels, and some of those of other nations partly so, the trade, by enabling the adventurers to make a circuitous remittance to Europe, was attended with pretty certain but very small profits, and that since the war it has been generally a losing speculation, even in the state where it has been carried on to the greatest extent and with more economy in the outfits and navigation than elsewhere. But it will be asked whether the states which produce horses, etc., for this trade would not be greatly injured in case of its annihilation for want of a market to dispose of that produce. I answer that in my judgment it would be better to alter the mode of farming, and to raise sheep and black cattle instead of horses. There can be no want of sufficient demands for wool and beef, nor can I conceive that it would be a difficult affair to substitute the growth of these in the room of less useful articles. Then I could wish to see the direct commerce with France encouraged to the greatest degree, and that almost all the foreign spirits which we consume should consist of the wines and brandies made in that country. The use of those liquors would at least be more innocent to the health and morals of the people than the thousands of hogsheads of poisonous rum which are annually consumed in the United States. And upon further reflection, it seems obvious to me that there are articles enough in France which are wanted here, and others in turn produced here which are wanted in France, to form the basis of a beneficial, extensive, and durable commerce. The discovery of extracting tar from coal is a proof of the investigating genius of the present age. In whatever country useful inventions are found out and improvements made, I rejoice in contemplating that those inventions or improvements may, in some way or another, be turned to the common good of mankind. The season will be so far advanced before I shall have completely finished covering my barn that I can be able to do nothing more to it this year. I have formerly been somewhat curious in making experiments relative to cements, particularly in that which derives its name from L'Oreal, but have never been able to succeed to my wishes. I was delighted with the idea that the cements used by the ancients had been in all probability rediscovered. Some time in the late war, I employed 3 or 4 of the principal French engineers in our army to make some mortar into a consolidated mass according to the printed directions for making L'Oreal's cement, with a copy of which they were furnished. But the result, after very many trials, was infinitely distant from what we had been led to expect. As the process was strictly in conformity to the prescribed rules, I know not to what cause the failure of success should be attributed. With sentiments and esteem, etc., George Washington.